The demonstration hall buzzed with the low hum of immense wealth and anticipation. On stage, Arthur Sterling, a man whose ambition was matched only by his ruthlessness, stood like a Roman emperor addressing his legions. He was about to unveil Sterling Energy, a revolutionary solar technology that promised to change the world. He was also about to close a multi-billion-dollar deal with a consortium of international investors sitting in the front row. I watched the live stream from the quiet of my small apartment, a single command line blinking on my laptop screen. He was selling my invention, my company, my future. He thought he had taken everything from me. He was about to find out that all he had ever owned was a locked box, and I was the only one with the key. 2 years ago, I was a young, idealistic engineer who had invented the Helios core, a technology that could increase solar panel efficiency by an unprecedented 300%. It was my life's work. But I was an engineer, not a tycoon. To bring it to market, I needed capital. And that led me to Arthur Sterling. He saw the genius in my work, but he saw me as a naive child to be managed. He agreed to a partnership, forming Helios Innovations. I was the chief technology officer, he was the CEO. I thought we were partners. In reality, I had just invited a wolf into my home. For a year, he played the part of the supportive mentor, but slowly the changes began. He hired his own people, creating a corporate structure that isolated me. My lab team was downsized, my budget scrutinized. In board meetings, he would present my technical reports as his strategic insights. He was a master of erasure, slowly painting me out of the picture of my own creation. The one thing I refused to compromise on was the system's core software. I built the Helios core with a 2-stage activation protocol. The first stage, which was active, allowed the panels to function at a remarkable 150% increase in efficiency, a revolutionary leap in itself. But the second stage, the full 300% potential, could only be unlocked by a complex encrypted activation key that was tied to my biometrics. I told Sterling it was a stability protocol for long-term maintenance. It was a lie. It was a kill switch. Or more accurately, a life switch that only I could flip. The final betrayal was swift and brutal. Using a legal loophole in our partnership agreement that his army of lawyers had drafted, he executed a hostile takeover. He dissolved Helios Innovations, absorbing all its physical assets and patents into his new shell company, Sterling Energy. He cut me a check for a laughably small sum, my buyout, and had security escort me from the building I had built. He owned the hardware, the patents, the factory. He thought he owned everything. He never once asked about the software's final activation key. In his arrogance, he assumed the 150% efficiency was the technology's peak. For 6 months, the world thought I had vanished, a footnote in Arthur Sterling's success story. I let them. I watched as he was lauded on the covers of business magazines as the new visionary of green energy. I watched as he prepared for this global launch event, the one that would make him a legend. And I prepared too. I wrote a new software patch. It wouldn't just unlock the core's full potential, it would execute a complete rebranding of the system's user interface in real time. Which brings us to today. Sterling was at the climax of his presentation. "The competition offers incremental improvements," he said with a condescending smirk. "Sterling Energy offers a revolution." Behind him, a massive screen showed the live energy output from a demo panel array on the roof, the numbers holding steady at 150% efficiency gain. The investors looked impressed. "And now," he boomed, "witness the future." He pressed a button on his podium. This was my cue. This was the moment his system pinged the master server for a standard diagnostic check. But instead of a diagnostic, the server, which still recognized me as its creator, delivered my patch. From my apartment, I typed the final activation command and hit enter. On the stage, the numbers on the screen began to change. They didn't go down, they went up. The efficiency reading started climbing rapidly, 180%, 220%, 270%, finally settling at a jaw-dropping 300%. The hall erupted in gasps of astonishment. The investors shot up in their seats, their faces a mixture of shock and glee. Sterling froze. He stared at the screen, utterly bewildered. This was impossible. This wasn't his data. He thought it was a glitch, a beautiful, profitable glitch. He turned back to the investors, a triumphant, confused smile spreading across his face. "As you can see," he stammered, "we are still exceeding expectations." But then the interface on the screen began to change. The sleek corporate Sterling Energy logo at the top of the screen flickered, dissolved, and was replaced by my original vibrant Helios Innovations logo. The headers, the data labels, every piece of text on the screen was rebranded in a cascading wave of color and light. The final change was the most brutal. A large, unavoidable text box appeared in the center of the screen, displaying a message for the entire world to see. Helios Core, efficiency unlocked, proprietary technology of Helios Innovations, creator and sole keyholder, Dr. Sarah Chen. The smile melted from Sterling's face, replaced by a mask of horrified comprehension. He wasn't a visionary, he was a fraud, and I had just proven it to his billion-dollar audience. The investors weren't looking at him anymore. They were looking at the screen, at my name, and then at each other. They understood. The man on the stage didn't even know what his own product was capable of. He started babbling, calling for his technicians, but it was useless. The system was mine. The technology was mine. The truth was mine. I watched him on the live stream as his entire world collapsed in the glare of a spotlight he had stolen. I closed my laptop. A few minutes later, my phone rang. It was the lead investor from the consortium. "Dr. Chen?" he asked, his voice full of a new kind of respect. "It seems we've been talking to the wrong person. Perhaps you'd be available to discuss the future of Helios Innovations." I smiled. "I am the future of Helios Innovations. Let's talk."